Well, thank you guys for being here. Like Chris said, we're very excited to have you. Um, a lot of you, I think, are new to Chipley webinars, so wanted to give you a little bit of context about what we're doing here. Today we're going to be talking about AI tools and how you can use them to run your business better, run your web stores more efficiently. And we run these webinars every month, educational webinars that span different topics. And we really hope that you'll join us in the future. Chipley is truly dedicated to supporting the people in this industry. And that's something that's at the forefront of how we develop our software and the new features that we introduce. It informs our model of customer service. And it also informs how we're doing these educational programs. So you can, like I said, sign up for the next webinar every month and also check out our website. We have a lot of sales and marketing tools that you can download for free and use them in your own marketing to different audiences. So we hope you'll check those out. And some housekeeping, feel free to drop your questions in the Q&A. We'll try to get to them as we go, but we'll also have a separate Q&A section at the end to get to any questions we missed.
Perfect.
Cool. So I'm kind of going to start us off today just talking about some of the tools that are available to you. These are all going to be free, or they have at least free versions. So if you're kind of new to using AI, especially generative AI, you don't want to make an investment in it yet, these tools are available at no cost. They're a great place to get started. And there's a lot out there. So I figured I'd take a few minutes and just kind of walk you through some of the most popular ones and kind of explain a little bit of the difference between them. And then you'll see here on the presentation, see examples. When we send this out afterwards, you can deep dive into this, and it's a little bit more information for you about what each of these are. So starting off, ChatGPT, it's probably the one that everybody's the most familiar with. That one is kind of, think of it as a little bit of a jack of all trades. So you can use this for content creation, problem solving, sales enablement, image creation, that sort of thing. It is free. There is a paid version that you can get. It'll store more memory. It's a little bit more advanced thinking as far as AI goes. You can share it with your team. There are just a couple of other capabilities that might entice you to use the premium version, but the free version is great. It works really well for what you need it for. So just a couple of examples of what you might use it. If you want to prepare a proposal for a customer, or have it proofread an email, or maybe create a lifestyle image based off of a product image, these are all things that ChatGPT can do. The next one here is Perplexity. So this one is really good for research and sourcing and verification. This is the one that college students are using to write and turn in their term papers. It's very good for, like, let's say you had a customer ask you about like eco-friendly products or something like that, or maybe they have like a sustainability issue or initiative and they need products to meet certain guidelines. This is going to be a really good one for that, because it's going to help you compare, help you verify different things. It's just going to be really useful in that context. Claude is really good for analyzing longer documents and creating them as well. But let's say you have a customer, a new corporate client, and they have like a very extensive brand guideline. You could pop that PDF into Claude, and it's going to analyze it, summarize it, spit out its best examples of what you should be doing. And then it'll also help you like rewrite SOPs and stuff like that for when you're dealing with a specific client. Google Gemini is going to be really good if you're already working within the Google workspace. So if you're already using docs and sheets and things like that, Google Gemini is just going to incorporate with those very smoothly, and it's going to be able to help you do a lot of the same writing and creating things that like ChatGPT can do just within that Google workspace. And those are kind of your four like main ones as far as like writing and idea creation and that sort of thing. The next three are a little bit more specific. So Canva is really good for image creation or just working with images. If you have a logo that someone sends you as a JPEG rather than like a PNG and it doesn't have a transparent background, you can pop it into Canva and have it remove the background. You can also use their generative AI to create images. So it's really helpful as far as like design goes. And then Grammarly is more specific for proofreading your emails, proposals. You can download a browser extension for Grammarly, and it will show up in everything from Slack to Outlook. Anytime Microsoft Word, anytime you're writing or generating, Grammarly will be there to make sure that you're capitalizing the letters that need to be capitalized and you're putting punctuation where it needs to be. It's going to help improve your business communications and keep you looking very professional. I would say if you use any of these after today, that might be the one to look into, because I think it's very important how we present ourselves to our customers and our clients. Um, and you don't want a silly mistake to like make them think that you're less professional than you actually are. And then finally, Meta AI is the AI that is within Facebook, Instagram, Threads to some capacity. It's going to help you with like creation as far as like the post goes. It'll help you sometimes with like creating different versions of the images as far as like sizing and things like that go. But then it also will help you with DM. So if a customer sends you a message asking a question, it will help you to answer those. You can set up, automated answers. It'll help you actually generate answers. It's very helpful with that. So it's also helping you with customer communication on social media. So that is that. Okay, perfect. And then we're going to move into some different tasks that AI can help with. So again, if you haven't really jumped into using AI in your day-to-day, these are some kind of basic, simple tasks that you can get started with. The idea is to use AI to take care of the things that you don't want to take care of. So it's supposed to kind of be like a personal assistant. AI shouldn't be doing the things you enjoy. It should be helping you do the things that you dread doing every single day. So if there's like a certain project that you're really eager to get started on, but there are some menial tasks that you have to get out of the way first, use AI to do those menial tasks. That's kind of the idea here. So things like writing emails to organizations and businesses, writing an explanation of how a store works, creating the welcome text or the store close copy, proofreading and copying emails, creating images, writing unique product descriptions. And you can also have it specific for like SEO or more for clarity. You can kind of guide the AI to help you writing those, creating social media templates, creating internal checklists and SOPs. The list can go on, but these are just some of the ones that when we were generating this presentation, we're thinking probably most of you are doing day to day anyways, and then AI might be able to take those off your plate. Okay, so once you've decided on a task that you want AI to do for you, the idea here is to create a prompt that will actually help AI do it well. There's a saying that circles around using AI, and it's garbage in, garbage out. So if you give it a garbage prompt, it's going to give you a garbage output. So the idea behind AI, like I said, is to make your life easier. But if you give it a prompt and then you're having to refine that prompt and enter it again and then edit that again, it's not really saving you time, and that defeats the whole purpose of using AI. So we want to make sure that we give it a strong prompt to begin with so that you're entering it once and then you're getting out an output that works for you and that you can just move on with. So there's a framework that works really well for this, and it's role, task, context, output. And so the role is who AI should be. Okay. So for me, you're a marketing manager for a technology company within the promotional products and team industry, right? And then your task is what you want done. So I need a blog post. Okay. Context is what is the background. So I need a blog post about how online stores can be used to generate new business. And then the output is what you expect it to give you. So I need a blog post that's no more than a 2-minute read that is easily scannable with lists and bullet points. Okay, so that way it's going to spit out something that is as close to what I need as possible. And then you'll see here there's an idea for prompts. but I kind of want to take that first one and run with it for a minute to show you the difference between a good prompt and a bad one. So creating a proposal email for an HR specialist. There we go. Okay. So I used ChatGPT for this. And I just said, create a proposal email for an HR specialist. And you can see here the result is probably not what I would need if I were in our industry, in our sales role. Okay, because this is talking about an HR specialist in as far as like HR processes and identifying improvement opportunities, things like that. What I meant was, oh, I want a proposal that I'm going to send to an HR person about buying, promo apparel, like branded apparel and promo items for their company. That's what I'd meant, but I didn't explain that to the AI. And so I got a result that I can't use. So if you go to the next slide, I used the role task context output framework. And so I said, you're a promotional products consultant working with corporate HR. Write a professional proposal email introducing a custom branded merchandise program. Context, and it talks about the recipient, the goal, and the tone. And then output is a concise proposal email, just 2 to 3 short paragraphs with a clear value prop and a friendly call to action. And then you can see here that the result that I got is much closer to something I could actually use as a salesperson in our industry. So I'm not going to read through it, but you guys have the option to read through it, and you'll notice the difference between the two. So prompting does matter. Take a little bit of extra time up front to do it well, and then you won't have to take more time on the back end to get it right.
Cool. So how the Chipley team uses AI today. So the Chipley team here has been using AI kind of ever since it not came out, but like ever since it became really popular, and we all kind of use it in many of different ways. So one of the some of the ways that we are using AI is to extract style numbers from stores. So one of the things that we are constantly doing is kind of helping transfer stores. So when we need to grab some style numbers from there, that is when we are using AI. Artwork creation, which I'll get into here in a second. I know our team here is using AI specifically a lot for Excel, uploading whether it's reports from Chipley or from someplace else to help kind of see all of it all at once. It's pretty crazy what you can do with an Excel document inside of AI, and as well as pricing calculations. Sometimes inside of a Chipley store, you want your fundraising to be a specific amount. And the way that it works, you kind of have to do backwards, some backwards math on that. So instead of having to do that one by one, we've been able to upload a Chipley product spreadsheet, and the AI will let us know what those prices are. But in particular, I wanted to go through some of the ways that you can use AI to kind of help spruce up your online stores, specifically with image generation. If you really want to take your stores to the next level, there's some small things that you can do to kind of just breathe some life into them and also kind of help you stand out. So for here, for example, all I did was I downloaded the product image from the store, and the prompt I used is create a lifestyle product image for the attached image at a construction site, and it added this. So something small that you can upload into your store. Um, this, for example, too, as well, I feel like a lot of the team side of things are uploading custom jerseys, and a lot of times the customers want to see what it looks like. And instead of having a mom that's going around taking photos of everything, you can upload it into AI, and it produced this, which kind of blew me away because it looks really well done. The other thing too is like making embroidery files. I know a a lot of the times I've heard when helping transfer stores or to create stores is, do we have a way to make the logo look like a embroidery file? Sometimes you can get a company to do it, or a graphic designer is going to take a lot of time to create this. All I did was upload the image into AI, asked it to make a realistic embroidery stitch, and it came out with this, which I think looks pretty good. And then also too as well, sometimes when you're getting artwork from from a designer or from um, a third party, or whether it's something online, removing the background is time consuming, and some of us don't have the programs to do that. So just being able to upload an artwork into AI, ask it to remove it, it can do that rather quickly. And then this is an example of just like what you can do with AI. So all I did for this is I uploaded this slide image here, and I then uploaded the four product images, and I said, hey, can you make the branding of the slide logo appeal to all the other product images? I had to play around with this one a little bit, but I was able to kind of create this. Again, it's small things, but these are things that can just help elevate your stores, help make your store feel professional to your customers, and give them a more all-in-one experience. So,
Okay, and so as you can see, that's a lot of different prompts that Chris used that can just be in your day to day. So something, and Elizabeth is going to get into this a little bit more here in just a minute, but something that we suggest doing is as you start to use AI and you start to find prompts that work really well for you, is creating a prompt library. And so we actually kind of started one for you just to kind of kick things off for you. You can copy this and then take it and do with it what you will. You can completely change them or start from scratch and just use this as a template. We do it in Google Docs. We just saved it there, made sure that our team has access to it. But some of the things that we've included in here for you is like a cold call script for new sales employees. And the tool you'd use for that one is probably ChatGPT. Turn a product image into a lifestyle image, social media ideas for this week, rewrite an email for clarity and engagement, improve product copy using brand voice, explain how an online store works, create store launch reminder emails, create an FAQ for a store. These are just a few, like I said, to get you started, but we really encourage you to kind of create your own prompt library and start saving the ones that like really work for you. That way, someone else joins your team and you need them to be doing things how you're doing it, they have this library ready to go.
Great. So we're going to get into some best practices no matter what tool you use. These are just good things to keep in mind. So as Ryan was talking about, it's really important to customize your ChatGPT. These programs are designed to learn from you. So you want to take advantage of that and customize it to your role, your brand voice, and who your audience is. So make sure that you're feeding it that information. And as Ryan said, if you have some prompts that are really effective, or even just the beginning of prompts that say, this is what my business does, these are our ideal customers, this is what we sound like usually, to go ahead and save those and be able to use them again and again. Remember that AI is a collaborator and it definitely can make mistakes. Make sure that you're reviewing everything. It can make some glaring errors. It could make you sound weird. So just make sure whatever you're doing, you're giving it a close read before you call it done. Ryan mentioned this earlier also, use it to automate tasks that you're not really into, that are busy work, that are slowing you back. Those are great ways to use AI to delegate assignments. And then make sure that you're adding your own voice to whatever output there is. And that's particularly important if you're talking to customers that already know you, know what you sound like, and are going to see right through that AI speak. So we have a challenge for you. If you guys aren't on the Chipley Collective already, please go ahead and join. You can use the QR code. This is a space that we have Chipley users access. They can share ideas, ask questions, talk about wins or lessons learned. So we challenge you this week to pick one task that maybe you don't like doing or that's slowing you down and try to use AI to make that process better and then share it so that everybody can learn from you. They can, come up with ideas that we probably didn't think about yet. And then a few more best practices, some pitfalls of AI. Make sure you're not sharing super confidential information. AI is learning from you, which means that it's collecting your data, it's holding your data for a period of time. So don't, expose your customers to data breaches by uploading their credit card information or things like that. Anything that's really secure and confidential, you don't want to just upload it straight into ChatGPT. And then to formalize this, you want to create a company policy. So tell everybody on your team what it is okay to upload, what company information should not be uploaded into something like ChatGPT, just to keep everybody on the same page and there's no confusion around that. And then share your prompt library. You're going to put all this time and effort into creating these really great prompts that describe your business, describe your audience, and describe your tone. Give those to your staff to give them a head start and make sure that everything you do is consistent and you stay on the same page. As part of your company policy, you also want to define when it's okay and when it's not okay to use AI imagery. I think for the most part, it probably will be okay to use AI imagery for things like social posts or, product imagery on your web stores. But for instance, if you are, publishing a case study or a newsletter or an announcement where you're talking about a specific customer or an event they held that was successful, you might not want to use an AI image because then you're misrepresenting an actual scenario, and acting like it's a photo when it isn't a real photograph. Um, and then make sure you're editing out AI speak. So there are some common pitfalls that we notice. You might notice some different ones that you want to just always check for. First of all, like we said a few times, make sure that you're staying true to your own voice, that it doesn't sound AI generated as much as possible. AI will oftentimes output super long lists, we've noticed. So I like to break those out into separate sentences or bullet them or just rewrite things so it's not an ongoing list. And another common trope is using M dashes. If you don't know what an M dash is, it is that line that's in the sentence right there. Yes, exactly. ChatGPT loves them. I love them also, but I've started reducing them because I don't want people to think I'm using AI. Um, and then make sure that you're centering your audience in all of your messaging. So a lot of times AI will be like, we're so excited, or we did this, etc. But you want to really focus on the customer. If your customer had a win, say, our customer had this win and we're excited that we were part of it. Make sure that you're giving your customers props. Make sure that you're talking about the impact that they can achieve by working with you more than just talking about yourself all the time. So, fun fact, this image is fake. We uploaded our headshots to create a group photo. So just one example of how you can be using AI. And then we thought it would be fun for us to go around and just say kind of how we've been using AI, how we think about it in our own jobs, and then maybe how we're using it personally. And then we'd love if you guys would share as well if you have a hot take on it. Um, which is, I guess I can start. So I like to think about ChatGPT. I think of it as an intern. So I like giving it assignments with the idea that it can be improved upon. I'll give feedback. And then at the end, I like to make sure that whatever I change and edit, I send it back to ChatGPT so that it knows what finished and good looks like, and it can replicate that in the future. And I use it in my personal life for deep dives and rabbit holes. So, for instance, I'm really into movies and TV and books, and I'm really excited for Wuthering Heights coming out in February. So, I went on a deep dive about the Bronte sisters and other writers of that time. Chris, do you want to go next?
Yeah. So in Chipley, I use AI a lot for a lot of the update emails and just like trying to keep everything all in one place. So that way, whenever I need to reference something, I have all that info there for me. Um, for my personal life, I use it a lot for like my grocery list. I'll like tell AI where I'm gonna go shopping at. And like I've even done where like, oh, I only want to spend $100. Like what's, and then I want to get like, I said I wanted tacos, and then it was like showed me everything that I could buy. So that was cool. And I also use it a lot for collecting information. As I get older, I like to reflect on my life, and just being able to go back and like look through things has been super helpful for me too. So
Yeah. And then for me, so in a past life before I was in this industry, I was an English major. I thought I was going to go into editing and publishing, didn't work out. Here I am. But my writing process has always been like a multi-step process. And so it always start with a brain dump. And then I would go back through with different colored highlighters and pens and create an outline, and then I created a rough draft, and then I would copy edit, and then I would proofread. And the only parts of those steps that I liked was the initial brain dump, where I just got everything out of my head onto paper or the screen, and then the copy editing, because that's what I want to do. And that's where you like refine your writing pretty much, like make it pretty. And so now I open a Google Doc and I brain dump for however long it takes me, and then I pop it into ChatGPT and I ask it to organize my thoughts into a clear outline. Then I take that outline, make any changes that I think needs to be changed. I put that outline back into ChatGPT and ask it to create a rough draft. And then I take that rough draft and then I spend my time copy editing it because that's the part I enjoy. Then once I have it perfected, I pop it back into, well, now Grammarly, because I think it's more exact with that, and ask it to proofread it, which is where you just check for typos, punctuation, that sort of thing, just those little tiny things to make it better. And so ChatGPT does the parts of my writing process that I don't want to do. And then as far as in my personal life, I recently had it create a training plan for a half marathon and a meal plan to help me while I am training. So, and I have like a lot of weird food restrictions, and I just put those in there, and it spit something out that was like I took it to the store and used it as a shopping list and then meal prepped. It was kind of insane. So yeah, I use it a lot personally and professionally. So do you guys want to get into a couple of these questions? I think, Chris, is there a chance that we might have put the wrong link for the collective? Because I think people are having some
yeah,
issues. So we'll
I've
resend that afterwards. That's on us, not you guys. Sorry. But we will definitely send that. And then a couple other questions really quick. Someone asked about using AI to find out like bestsellers. First of all, we can provide that report for you. But if you want to do some further analysis, you would download the Chipley reports that you want or need. Again, remove any sensitive information from those before you put them back into any sort of AI. But Claude would be a really good one for that, because that's going to be the one that'll help you analyze all those reports. And you can ask it all kinds of questions. Maybe it's something that we haven't really thought of before. But yeah, Chris is right. Like we can absolutely get you some of that information as well.
yeah.
Collective. Yeah. And then absolutely this webinar is recorded and we'll share it afterwards. Chris, Mike had a question about using the images for a store. That's in the actual product images, right? Where you just go in and replace it.
Yeah, I would grab the product images from the vendor's website when you do that, just so you can still use the Chipley auto image placement. Um, so that's where I was grabbing them from.
Okay, perfect. The AI that you used to change the image into an embroidery image, was that ChatGPT?
That was ChatGPT. Yes. I love
Okay,
ChatGPT. That's the one I use the most.
yeah. Um, Someone asked, is there a way AI can collect email threads and summarize requests? Yes, absolutely. I think Copilot and Google Gemini, depending on where you're using. So Copilot is Microsoft, Google Gemini is obviously Gmail. Um, those can do that for you, just directly within those platforms. I'm sure also, again, you could copy and paste it into something and ask it to summarize. But those two, using the AI that comes with your email provider is going to be your best bet there.
I've also just copied and pasted into ChatGPT too if you want something simpler.
Um, does Chipley have an AI tool in it, or do we have to use one of the AI platforms discussed? So we do not currently have our own tool within the platform. Um, I do imagine eventually it will probably be something available. But however, right now, using these other free tools is what we suggest. Can I create vector art from a PNG? There are AI tools that will vectorize art for you. I don't know that they are free. They might come at a cost. But I think to vectorize, you're probably going to have to use one that's a little bit more specified. So there are other ones out there for image creation, like Midjourney. Sora is a part of OpenAI. Um, Chris might be asking if, because I know that's something we get asked a lot. Um, we can definitely look into that a little bit more and give you a better answer, but it might be something you have to pay for.
There is one. It's called vectorizer.ai. And we've used that here too. So
Do we know is that one you have to pay for, Chris?
I think there might be some things that you can do free. You might have to pay for it. I think we pay for it. Um, but yeah,
I imagine it would be harder if you had multiple colors of shirts since each image would have to perfectly line up. So kind of what we suggest there is just using the main product image as the lifestyle image. And then once you like click into that product, your images just stay as the product image. So you're not necessarily making all of your product images lifestyle images. It's just kind of that storefront when you first land on the page. That would be our
yeah.
suggestion for best practices there.
And you are correct too with that. I think I would use this for special instances like a jersey or your custom products. For like your main shirts, kind of like how I showed you. That was more just like an example of what you can do. Um, but you are correct. You wouldn't want to. You would have to replace every single one of the product images too. Um, so whichever way you
Yeah.
want to do it.
And then someone asked about the prompt library. That's the link to that is going to be in this presentation that we'll send out afterwards. So you will have that available to you as soon as we send you the follow-up email. Someone said that they've been using Topaz Labs for enhancing blurry and low-res images, and it's worked great. So Jamie, if you join the collective, drop that in there, let people know that that's a tool available to use. Vectorize is $10 a month. There we go. I think that's it. I hope we've covered everything. We'll go back through all of these questions. If we didn't hit your question, I'm really sorry. But also our sales team will reach out if we did not answer your question live, and they'll get you an answer, and then we can keep discussing issues if you have any that arise, or if you want new ideas, or just to talk more about how we use AI. I think that's about it. Oh, I'm very much a novice with AI. What would you suggest for someone starting? It's a little overwhelming. I would go with ChatGPT. It's the one that's kind of been around the longest. It's the most well known. If you want to talk to someone else on your team about it, that's going to be the one that they're most familiar with. It's literally chatgpt.com. You use whatever email you use to sign up. It's free. Like I said, it's the process to sign up is not difficult at all. It's very quick. And you can literally use ChatGPT to tell you about ChatGPT and just AI in general. So just ask it your questions. What can I use you for? How can you help me in my day to day? And as it starts to get to know you, it'll give you more refined answers. And I just think that's a great place to start. And again, like if you're kind of nervous about doing it in your work day, start with something personal. Tell it like, I have to create dinner for me, my husband, and 3 kids over the next 3 nights. What are some ideas? What I have in my fridge right now is hamburger and lettuce, and just do something kind of silly off the cuff until you're used to how it responds to you and how it can help. And then you can continue to do more as you get more familiar with it.
Yeah. I think Ryan, you said it earlier to use AI as like your assistant. Like anything that you want to like ask it a question about or anything like that is like a really good way to kind of start too. So
I haven't figured out how to have ChatGPT make me coffee yet, but one of these days. I do have a smart coffee maker, which is pretty cool. So it's soon. It's happening soon. I know it is.
cool. I think that's all the
All
questions.
right. So, like we said, if you have more questions, you can always feel free to reach out to us. So, teamchipply@chipply.com. You can also send something directly to the marketing team. As Elizabeth said earlier, we're always trying to provide resources that are helpful to you. Um, you know, we're a little bit biased, but we think Chipley is the best online store platform. But, outside of just being able to build better online stores, we're also here for you as a partner. So with things like this, I mean, we don't have AI directly within the Chipley platform, but we do think that it's useful and we want to help you, utilizing, make the most out of everything. So we really appreciate everyone joining us this month. Um, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We're always here.
Perfect. Thanks, everybody.